Melech, Your Honors. Today is 29th December 2016. You wanted I to tell you certain things, and the certain things are involved at the conditions that we went through. So suddenly there were threats all over this land and Nasur to the people that were defending the name of the Jewish and the conditions of us. One were news here in Buenos Aires, and in Latin America were news all around. I'm telling you one thing. The realities are every day is the same. The conditions are every day referring for the same class of non-congruential, but everyone has a reason at the right instant to produce what they are producing. I'm telling you one thing. We came on suffering this threat and acting toward the reason why the murder of Nisman, which were exactly the class of circumstances that define and really define certain other aspect on these days that do not get with Jewish that the threat in Buenos Aires meant, because of we are gonna making you shit, is exactly the class of a circumstance that every days were happening all around here. Reason why have done to me what have done to me. Understanding the realities of who I am and who I were and what I were doing and how the things were happening, obviously were about to making exactly what they do. The cake of the whole of we have and who we are seems to be. And Nazi are just a part of it, but not the reference, but exactly for the ancestral. We count with what it is the government of the world, which still delivers the days into breathing that they are gonna be, and everything gonna be like they says, and determines that anything to be at the reference for Jews will be the bad word. So suddenly, the reality of Christianism, which is not everybody, is not the only element for this to happen, but what we call the United Evangelicals. A lot of people is confused. A lot of people doesn't know what it's moving and makes the coverage for things that should never cover. And the liars, the manipulative criminals, are all around making disasters and putting people in risk, even counting of evangelics themselves. I'm telling you one thing. The clear fact of these days delivered to us into a very disasters. And the disasters implies also the same class of a crime that it is exactly like Argentina have been providing. Murdering Jewish and making every day the possibility for that to happen that way. Now, why will this happen this way? It's something like comes in a very tight with the reality itself, since the popular trust on patriotic, and someone were in Buenos Aires and said something which we were analyzing about states and justice parties, which were Gerard Depardieu, and he were calling for the danger of the patriotic ones, the new patriotic to fighting with and for. And the realities are the clear fact of what this means, that any emblematic element for the uses with a purpose like this have been doing will be really useful for the making exactly that. The clear fact of the dangers these days increases at the level of no one will release and no one will let go until getting the last of what says God to having. And the problem of this is and involves that we have certain more and further these real clear facts that deliver into disasters themselves. Now, the mobiles are clear, the instants are clear, the needs are clear, and what is missing is the whys. You can answer anything, but there is only one thing, which it is, they want anybody's lives but them own, which it is mentioned like gold, like the worthy, like the life itself, where nothing will be wrong and nothing will be escaping from what it is, living and having the best ever at the day. The clear fact of this is they ruins everybody's lives, especially Jews. And they ruins me because of they knows who I am. I came recently, few minutes ago, off of an extortion that delivered like these last days were happening again. The threat to murder members of state if Liaison office, states parties, justice parties and I wouldn't deliver what they demanded. The reality of this delivers into much other, which justifies the non-congruential clear facts accepted justifiable for what a number over whatever emblems to use will ever deliver into. They will know, they will be the right ones, and off of them is nothing to found. We already have discussed this. We already have been watching about this, forgive me, and watching so certainly clear what were happening and whom, how, and who moves around this, and the reasons of them. The realities for what this happens, most of all, is exactly to believe over sensitivizing whatever the elements to twist and saying that power to possess and to can making some damages and destructions will deliver to them into the glory and will make them be whatever they says gotta be. The problem is that this brings worse states which only makes more destructions, and whenever they do not found nothing, they destroys whatever there to be around because of the whole of the whole, and the lone reality goes away. So suddenly, in the middle of this all, we found a very certain clear fact, that is disaster, and they don't end to making what they do, but whenever they to end with everybody around. This class of elements are exactly the class of elements that everything corrupts, everything destroys, everything ruins, everything kills. The whole good name, the whole worthy, the whole morals, the whole element to be the right element to be taken. And in the middle of this all, suddenly it is nothing else but the disaster of they wanted to be what there can nothing take away, what is the worthy and what is the element that they to the worth, and the worth for the worth and the reality to be, which cannot, only who they are and what they are, and the clear fact of the rest is destruction. The same happens with the Christians. The faith of the Christianism delivers to the evangelicals so oftenly this class united to saying that then speech, the word, will be making like a magic thing, will be making happening. And the reality is the speech, the word, in the faith is exactly like a magician. Because of anybody wants anything, and anything can be done, and if not, destroys, saying that everything to says no will be a demon. So the clear fact of this is exactly the same. Whenever El Chai, El Adon, Adonenu, to come and say, you dare to do it, and you were nothing like I sent to be done. And you stolen to me, and you destroyed my people, and you destroyed my one, and you made them disasters and abominations. They are gonna denying like are doing already and refusing, and whenever they to realize they are gonna be undone, in a done condition. So suddenly, the clear fact of this is any magician, anyone to conceit that can do with a little power to having, with a little book of some methodic element to constituting what they system dream come true, that God and whoever to defines like God will ever giving them to be happy, is exactly this all. The same happens with Freud, Lacan, which destroys people and ruins people, concentrating only the focus at the reason, and off of that reason, off of that circumstance that they says they can identify clearly, there will be nothing off of that, and they will be concreting the best ever choice on the same clear fact of all, and ruins lives and destroys people like are doing to me and terrorists are doing to me, and goes around like with the human knowledge. And the same happens with the policy. The clear fact of these days, everyone will provide a resolution, and everyone will provide an element for trying to making the possibility there to happen some solution for the world. And the world will constitute the best ever element for there to making the solution to be. And there will come again saying that the government of the world can be happening after the disasters that cause, and with the disasters that still causes, and with the disasters that we don't need, and while it keeps on running and destroying lives, telling that that is the solution for the day. Every season will bring a sacrifice, and for this season will be exactly destroying Jewish and raping and murdering people, for the strengthening men's, telling that that is the capacity for the making the best ever to governing and ruling the world. The clear fact of this is always the same, and the threat is at the reference about Nazism. But Nazism is Ramsesism, and Christianism is Nabucodonosorism, except for the people that has nothing to do. So the reality is exactly, we have problem, and I want a Shemot, and I want to get out. I want to live in this country that for all of my life were destroying me and ruining me, and with extortions of everyone, and with the destructions and with the robberies and with the damages that supposedly will be my ghost minding state that will be so true to me that I couldn't let go, at the point that I will be in a pathologic state that only will be needing of Freud and Lacan, with some psychiatrist medicating me and some psychologist making the effort to try to making me understand that ain't nothing of true, but a simple state of mind, and I kind of living the life like everything to be okay, nothing else. The reasons of my family as well. So suddenly at the point of this, ain't nothing further. And at the point of the realities of today, is exactly what we are going through, and it's exactly what we are living at this day, at the point for what is possible and not possible. I'm sorry for the noises. About who is in command and what will be in command is the one that takes the position that supposedly for institutions organized under that way will proceed about the making, like they says, that will be the right thing to do. And the right thing to do, most of all, is at the understanding, ruining and destroying and murdering, familiciding and making worse things, which is justifying the whole of the artifact on the militaries knows what they do, and complex. heavy. Police knows what they do, and they knows what they're doing, and they understands what they're doing whenever they takes people for the rape and murder. But not everybody, but the problem is the ones that are. And this is not a ghost of my mind, like we know, but the reality of what this is going on since that little bastard came around, brought by the ancestral, after the whole of the practices of Perón, and I'm sorry victims, at the reality of what it were and what it is Nazism, the exercising of Mengele, making studies and troubles at our people and destroying them and studying them about the supposed medicine to find out what God and where the power and where the reality, like these bastards dare to be doing today, taking the whole of what those have done then with Hitler and delivering today for the making exactly worse. So suddenly, the today's disciplines are deepest and deepest the damages, and I don't like it. And no one likes it, except the ones that makes it, obviously. So suddenly, Your Honors, Melech, I give you a recall. Melech'ha, I'm sorry. I give you a recall. With an HTTPS www, DDE, DDI, DDE, middle, Brentfeld, Brenter, middle. Las cosas de Dios solamente son avistadas por los que tenemos el poder y la autoridad. Somos gobierno y fuera de nosotros nadie puede determinar o decir porque nosotros vamos a ser y nadie más que nosotros. Middle. Says, middle, government of the world of the lie, middle, preeminence of the cheating and the abomination, middle, the realities of the prophets already accomplished, middle, DPE, DDI, DDC, middle, cis, middle, plural, point, INT. This is programming. F9, the last keys, the last tools, complete and systems recall, with the DIC systems to the supporting. You're going to have here the realities of this whole, and you're going to have a little bit further evidences. I hope you all to be found okay, and I'm so sorry. And Melech, this wants to kill you. That's the reason why I say you do not come to Buenos Aires. And wants to kill everyone, as to be important, as to be people that is recognized and understanding are fighting for the rights of the Jewish population and for the rights of the real Gov-Il. And we are having problems for the reason of there are too much which were making damages to us, but we gotta be as solid as the reality of El Chai given to us. We to be. I love you so much, Melech. I love you, Melech'ha. I love you, Melech ELBAZ. Melech'ha SHEM DONIERO. And HEBRON. I bless you so much. I bless you so much, Your Honors. I bless you so much, Your Honor, Melech'ha. And Ben, the reality is exactly like with Barbie. There is nothing else that you're going to find there. It's no difference. And the clear fact of all is given by the same of Birdie in US, where the Anti-Terrorism Council and working with the Jewish Communities Council in United Nations in New York City. Bless you so much, and I hope you to be okay really, and I need you to be fine. So please take care and be in alert, not paranoia, alert and making the right job. Please ask him.